All right, welcome back. Today, just some of my old school favorites when it comes to racing. We're gonna, not take too deep of a dive, just, kind of skimming over some stuff. Just some stuff I wanted to point out. I'm sure it's been pointed out throughout the community. Yeah, it is what it is. Gran Turismo, obviously one of my favorite racing franchises, period. Hands down. Of course, they had other stuff like competing, trying to compete, Project Gotham Racing, and now they have Forza. Everybody, whatever. I'm not really an Xbox guy. I haven't really played it. I've seen some video footage. I'm not really impressed. Maybe because I've just been playing Gran Turismo, whatever. What I will say is most of these Gran Turismos I have played. The only ones I have not played is let's see here, Concept, this Prologue, Tourist Trophy, which was a motorcycle one. Uh, this HD Concept and oh yeah, Gran Turismo Sport. I played everything else. Pretty much here. The Gran Turismo 3, I have to give it up because this was the term. I mean, really, they really did real well. Of course, the quality was better than the quantity. They didn't have as much cars, but I mean, hey, I mean, there's a lot of cars. There's a lot of cars, no matter how you look at it. Not as much as Gran Turismo 2, but Gran Turismo 3, yeah, nostalgia all day long. Excuse me, I have so many memories. Excuse me again, sorry. It seems like every time I do a video, my throat wants to act up, and I do all this straight off the rip. I don't do much editing or anything like that, so it's just off the top of the dome and just anything else that I put in front of you. I think it's more authentic that way. Because it's coming off the top of my head. Sometimes you can forget stuff, so on and so forth, but we'll get past all that. It's just a little explanation. But anyways, yeah, Gran Turismo 3 is man, it's one of my favorites. It's pretty close between Gran Turismo 3 and 4. Gran Turismo 5 was good, and I have a lot of memories from that one. I actually still own this one too, and I'll throw it in every once in a while on the PS3, and I'll play it. Just kind of like a little throwback. It's weird though, because you notice the difference. Like I noticed the difference when I was driving on Nürburgring, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what the heck, dude? But yeah, it's kind of funny how you notice the difference once you start playing a newer game, and yeah, you see the difference. But still, it's still fun. It's still fun to play. I love the menu music. Just everything about it was just fantastic. The mini suits you got to obviously wear, the helmets, everything else. Of course, you can make your own stuff now, but they had a lot of content in this game. I'm not gonna lie, and I had a blast playing it. Excuse me, online with my friends at the time. We had so much fun, playing, different, pretty much like different little styles of games. We made up stuff. We used to always just sit on Nürburgring all day and play that, and just kind of play around with different cars and settings and everything else. And everybody had to have the same settings, and then we would race with these different cars and whatever else. We had a blast. We had a blast though. Going forward anyway, the main situation is because of Gran Turismo 4. This one obviously was supposed to be online too, and I mentioned this in my short. Right when they start doing online gaming, I think it started off with Final Fantasy. If I'm wrong, you can correct me, but I believe it was the Final Fantasy. I can't remember which one it was, but they were really wanting to get Final Fantasy online. You had that little attachment that you had to hook on to the back of the PlayStation 2. But yeah, Gran Turismo is definitely the GOAT. And a lot of people will also say that Gran Turismo 4 is the GOAT of the franchise. You know, like I said, Gran Turismo 3 is right there. With one of their tracks, I don't know if they had. I don't think they had it. I might have to check. I have the list up. Oh, we're gonna look through that too. But Smoky Mountain, oh, it's my favorite dirt tracks to race. Smoky Mountain was my favorite. Of course, Seattle Circuit, which they also had on Gran Turismo 4. Some of these other tracks they had on, Gran Turismo 4, they were, it got a facelift, I guess you could say. Improvements here and there. And this other thing I also want to talk about too, because, Gran Turismo 7, I just don't understand how. Like, you have, I know throughout the years, like, for instance, Call of Duty, they have map packs and stuff like that, and you'd have to purchase the map packs in order to, obviously play on these different maps. I would pay if they would add like a track pack. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Polyphony Digital, if you're listening. You're so worried about freaking microtransactions, and you're worried about, people trying to collect the cars and, buy the, purchase the credits for the game so they can buy these cars. Because, I mean, the prices are ridiculous on some of these cars, man. Oh, my God. It's just crazy. $20 million for... I mean, you're just talking about grinding. You're going to be on the super grind. And, I mean, there's ways you can do it, too. On Gran Turismo 7, there's one track that I know for sure. I just stick with that one. And, they did updates and try to change stuff, but it's still the same thing. I just readjusted it. They actually had one that was a super glitch. And, I think it was Tokyo Express. That was the track. And you were, I think, what car was it? I think it was the Red Bull one. I can't remember what it's called now. I'm taking a blank here. But anyways, you could obviously set this car up to where it had the right amount of performance points, and you could do this in like less than 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on how you drive, and you would make a lot of coin. And on top of that, you would get the bonus for the clean race bonus and all that. So you would, and they totally jacked that one up, and they took the settings out, so those settings didn't work anymore to get the performance points. Therefore, there's still one that you can still do. You can adjust the GR2 race cars. Pretty much any of them will get to the amount of performance points that you need, and then you can just keep racing that over and over again. I think it's like 15 laps. So yeah, that takes about 30-45 minutes depending on how you drive. Getting the fastest lap times and just killing it. So, once again, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the fact that these tracks that are legendary and that people have been asking for, so it just shows you that they just continuously choose, for some reason, not to listen to what people are telling them. But either way, still, I've been a fan of Gran Turismo, the franchise and everything else. The work they put into this game is phenomenal. I have to give them credit. They're not perfect, but I mean, it's pretty good. That's why the game sells so good. That's why people play it, and so on and so forth. It still has its ins and outs. Of course, racing online and dealing with people, crappy drivers, don't got no skill, can't drive without hitting you, whatever else. If they make a mistake, they get mad at you and then try to run you off the road, and it just makes the game not enjoyable. But I will say Gran Turismo 5 integrated with the NASCAR and the other, man, this one was, I'm telling you, I can guarantee if anyone was growing up around that time, younger or older, who was playing this online, it was a blast. It was just fun. Even even with the people racing dirty and all that stuff, it was still a blast. It was still fun, and everything else. They came out with multiple bits of content throughout the year, and I really can't say anything bad about it except for the standard and the premium car thing. I mean, it is what it is. They wanted to put more cars in the game, so they copy and pasted, maybe brushed them up a little bit. And I mean, some of the cars I didn't really have a problem with. I don't care about being inside the damn car, because I usually use the front bumper view when I'm driving anyway. So it don't make a difference, because I like to see everything in front of me. So either way, Gran Turismo 5, excellent game. Excellent game. It's got its quirks and stuff that you ain't gonna like, whatever else. But still, I enjoy playing this game. At the time, I still enjoy playing it every once in a while. Just when I get a while here, and I just want to throw it in and play on the PS3 for a little bit. But the thing is, now with these newer titles, I don't understand. I mean, even with this one, they could have did it in this one. I'm really surprised they didn't. They could have did it on this one, and they didn't either. There's a lot of tracks from Gran Turismo 4, Gran Turismo 3 that should have been included, and even some of. Let me just go right into it so we can see. You can see for yourself. We're gonna look at the tracks, okay? Track list. I'm gonna point out a couple. We're already starting off. Apricot Hill Raceway. That's one they could have brought back. Autumn Ring. All the Autumn Rings. Beginner course, I'm not too sure about. Maybe not. Cathedral Rocks Trail. It's obviously dirt and snow track. They could have brought that one back. Even this one, they could have brought that back. Let's see. City Aria, I don't know about this one, but I mean, once again, it's another track, not one of my favorites, but we got a lot of tracks here that aren't in the game. This one, I don't remember this one. I can't believe I can't remember that one. But look at all these tracks. Corte d'Azur, they could have had that. Of course, we got Deep Forest. El Capitan, this is the one. One of the best, one of my favorite ones. And a lot of people say that this is their favorite one. They didn't bring that back. Of course, we got Fuji Speedway. They got different versions of that. George Paris, another one. Grand Canyon, dirt and snow track. Grand Valley Speedway. Now, they changed it. On this one. Because now it's like some other one, and it's like in a desert or whatever, which I'm fine with that. I like that course too. But this is one of the original circuits. And for some reason, come on, man, you can't bring that back. Hong Kong, I don't remember this one too much. Ice Arena. I didn't do a lot of dirt and snow tracks, but some of the ones I actually remember, like I told you, the one from Gran Turismo 3, Smoky Mountain. That was one of my favorite ones. One of my favorites. I like that integration with the asphalt, and then going into and out of dirt. That was nice. Once again, this is a world circuit. I don't know if they have this one. I don't think they have this one. Of course, they brought back Laguna Seca. Midfield Raceway, that's another one. I think they did bring back Motorland. New York, that's another one. Paris, that's another one. And Seattle Circuit, this is another one of my favorite ones. Why isn't it in the damn game? The Seoul Central, I think that's like the Tokyo Express one. If correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the same track to me. Maybe I did a different iteration of that track. Special Stage, all these city, these are actually, to me, I feel like those are also original circuits too, but that's just my opinion. Of course, they brought back Suzuka Circuit. The Swiss Alps, I think they have this one on here. I don't think they do. Most of these dirt tracks, they don't have Tahiti Maze. They don't have that one. Of course, the test course, we already know what that one is. They just, change the background up a little bit. The Tokyo 246, yes, another one. Why did you not have that in here? It was in Gran Turismo 5. I don't know if it was in Gran Turismo Sport because I didn't play it, but once again, another track they could have had. Of course, they brought back Trial Mountain, which is a part of the original circuit. See, original circuit. Oh no, this is the world circuit, but they got that one. Oh yeah, the twin ring. That one. That's another one. That's another one they could have brought back. So yeah, you see, all these tracks. Actually, no, they might have this one. It just might be called something else now because it looks just like it. And there's iterations of that one too. But once again, there's a lot of tracks here. And you could make a map, map pack, but a track pack. You know what I'm saying? Put that in the game. I guarantee people will freaking buy it. They will buy it, and they would want to race these tracks. And especially if you put the tracks in the daily races, and you can't race them unless you have the track. You guys, man, do I need to come work for you guys? Like, seriously? Like, what is going on, man? So, okay, there you go right there. That's some of the tracks, obviously, that they had in Gran Turismo 4. And we haven't seen these tracks. Plain and simple. They actually have a track in Gran Turismo 5 too, and I'm drawing a blank on it. I'd have to look that one up. But once again, that's another track that they just kind of like, okay, yeah, we're done with that one and moving on. That doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. So I just want to talk about that one. Definitely, Gran Turismo 4 is definitely the for me and a lot of other people out there is the GOAT of pretty much the Gran Turismo franchise. I mean, pretty much the most favorited selection. So between those two, Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4, Gran Turismo 5 is I'd probably say it's in the top 5. Gran Turismo 7, meh. I believe that one's in the top 5, but it's up for debate, whatever else. Now, the other one we're going to talk about is the Need for Speed franchise, and one in particular, and that would be Need for Speed Underground 2. This game is a legend in itself. It's just my opinion. You don't have to agree. You could disagree. But for me, this game, I will still play it. I will still play it if I ever get the opportunity to get the fat 60 gig PlayStation 3. I'm gonna get it because I have a couple of games that I've just held on to, and from PlayStation 2, and I still like playing. And I like the fact that it just kind of kind of shines it up a little bit. And I actually had this game too when I actually made a short about this. Those games that I showed in my short, I've had those games since before the PlayStation 3 came out, and I was playing those and SOCOM at the time. So SOCOM Confrontation, SOCOM 4, I think it was. That was the first one I started playing, and then Confrontation came out, and then it was just memories, man. So, anyways, enough about that. Need for Speed Underground 2. It's the music, the modifications, the racing, the drag racing, just everything. Storyline is kind of cheesy, but it's not that bad. And honestly, at this time, they were capitalizing on the whole situation with what was it? drawing a blank here again. The Fast and Furious franchise. So when all these games came out, obviously at that time, Need for Speed Underground, number one, number two, Most Wanted. What else? There's a couple of them in here that came out, in those years. Oh yeah, Carbon. That one was alright, but it wasn't as good as Need for Speed Underground 2. But I'll give it a little bit of credit. But Need for Speed Underground 2, to me, is the GOAT of the Need for Speed franchise, period. They tried to do other stuff, like that. It just never was the same. I mean, Most Wanted was probably the one that was the closest that came out in 2012. Of course, they had the Most Wanted number one that came out in 2005, right after Need for Speed Underground 2. That one was okay, but it just didn't compare. And I was waiting too. I was waiting for them to come out, with something. They came out with all these other ones, Need for Speed Undercover, the new Most Wanted, which, I didn't really have a problem with this one. It just seems to me that they were doing this because I believe, I think they did. Let me see. I think, EA ended up getting the rights to Burnout because Burnout 2 was the first one I played. And I was, this game right here, this is just an extra. It's in my top 5 racing games, at least top 10. And the reason why I say that is because when I first played it, it was Burnout 2, and I was so crazed about the whole situation to where you could throw cars into traffic and crash and try to get the most points and damage. That was cool to me. That was awesome. Now, of course, they brought that back with Burnout 3, Burnout Revenge, and then Burnout Paradise. I don't think they did. I'm not sure. And let me know if that was the case, because that was my favorite part about Burnout, was the crazy crashes, and then being able to actually play a mode where that's all you did was try to cause a whole bunch of crashes. That was awesome to me. So once again, EA seemed to seemed to me that they were trying to integrate Need for Speed with Burnout, and it just didn't work. And it's unfortunate because Burnout was its own kind of thing, and it was fun to play. It was definitely fun to play, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I will leave it at that. But once again, Need for Speed Underground 2. This game is this is my stuff right here, man. I love this game, and it's a great game overall. I just think that it's a shame how these games have come out. I mean, heck, if y'all can put Final Fantasy X in your freaking catalog, why couldn't you put this? Because Final Fantasy is made. I mean, Final Fantasy started on Nintendo, so I don't know the ins and outs of how that works, but hey, you know what I'm saying? These games, there's so many games, and I guarantee if you put the right ones in, people will pay for it. If you take the time to just shine it up real nice, like Need for Speed Underground 2, you don't have to do anything else to it. Well, you can, but you don't have to change anything about it. You can still leave the game the way it is. You can add some more modern music to the music that it already has in the game. Now, of course, there's copyrights, stuff like that, so I get that, whatever. Or just leave it the same, brush it up a little bit, and put it in your catalog. That's all you gotta do. I own the game. I can't even play it. The reason why I can't play it because I don't own a PlayStation 2. I don't own a PlayStation 3 that is backwards compatible. Now, that's my own fault, because honestly, I should have kept my 60 gig. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, because I wanted the PS4, which I should have just kept it, and I didn't, which is on me. So, there's that. But yeah, either way, this is one of the games. I mean, hey, EA, they all about making money too. This is a money maker right here. It don't get no better than this. And I can tell you right now, you could sell it for $30 and people will pay for it. You can sell it for $30 if you pretty much I mean, heck, they did it with the Need for Speed. What was it? Which I'm gonna download that one just to check it out. But Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, y'all did that. Y'all remastered that one. Why wouldn't you remaster the one that everybody wants? As far as I'm concerned, that's how I feel. I mean, all the people I've seen making videos about Need for Speed Underground 2, I yeah, it's just mind boggling how these people their whole thing is about making money, but they don't want to make any money. Okay, I can't tell you what to do with your own stuff, so okay, man, it is what it is. But you know, we'll leave it at that. That's those are my two greatest racing games of all time: Gran Turismo 4 and Need for Speed Underground 2. Let me know what you guys think, man. I am out. Peace.